Welcome everybody, a 21 Nuke salute to all of you viewers out there. Today we are getting into this Alfredo 2 review by the one and only Freddie Gibbs. Now, let's just go ahead and say it. Freddie Gibbs has been on an amazing album run recently. Like next level album run. He hasn't missed at all. We're gonna have to start analyzing his standings in the overall chart. Very quality product over the last few years. That's impossible to ignore. His run with Madlib, starting with Pinata and Bandana, amazing albums. Alfredo, the first Alfredo, classic. Straight up classic. His work post Alfredo has been very interesting. He dropped Triple S, sold separately. You've noticed a lot of rappers kind of having the Biggie Smalls influence, which he is an all-time great. If you're gonna get influence from anywhere, get it from an all-time great. Nothing wrong with that. But I think sold separately had a lot of influence from Ready to Die. Ready to Die was kind of a light concept album, basically with him being depressed about his life, and at the end, spoiler alert, trigger warning, ing himself, because he was ready to die. Now, listening to Sold separately, it kind of has that same loose storyline, which at the end more indirectly hints at the fact that he is, spoiler alert, trigger warning, himself, a la Biggie Smalls at the end of Ready to Die. The next album, You Only Die Once, is like his life after death, a spiritual journey, so to speak, and trying to basically get his soul right. It's a very deep album, and you really see him unpacking a lot of his deeper problems. He's basically confronting his sins in the afterlife. For those of you watching this that might be Freddie Gibbs fans, it's been hard to be a Freddie Gibbs fan for the last few years. He is constantly in the middle of some antics that would have ended anyone else's career a long time ago. But this is a testament to how good he is at rapping. His ex posted a picture of him in the most vulnerable position a man could ever be in. Ever. And fans were in the comments quoting revenge porn laws and threatening to have her arrested. That's just how good he raps. The world flipped upside down to defend Freddie Gibbs. Somebody up there likes him. His music purports to reflect his real life, and we have seen the results of it spilling over into real life. And if you've been following his career, you know that sometimes he can be his own worst enemy. So let's get into this new album, Alfredo 2. First of all, the Alchemist beats are so amazing, I have to use a new word to describe them. Scrumtrelescent. This is some boat shoes in the summer, burning one on a yacht, meditating on your successes music. Very immaculate vibes on this. The orals are impeccable. On the intro song, 1995, Freddie Gibbs proudly proclaims, "This beef shit is corny. I'd rather not be attached." My beef with this album is the beef. Freddie Gibbs is angry at a lot of people on this album. Let's break it down. First, we have the Jim Jones beef. Apparently, they got into some fisticuffs in Miami. Full story was never really told. According to Freddie, he slapped Jim and Jim's people jumped him, and that was the end of it. So basically, y'all are both too old for that. The beef is not legit. The mothers of his children, some of whom happen to be adult film stars, you know what they did. You know where they worked. You inseminated them, then left, then inseminated another one. What was it about them that made you think that they wouldn't crash out on you like that? I don't know the details of how they are in relationships or what they may have done to instigate anything or whatever, but you already know you should have been trying to find you a Scotty Bean. Beef's not legit. Currency beef. Currency? He doesn't bother anybody. Freddie was miffed at Currency for not doing enough promo for their joint EP, Fetty, that was released in 2018. Currency doesn't promo any albums. He just drops albums. By the time that album drops, he's already announcing the next album that's about to drop. Next week or in 2 weeks. When does he have time to promo when he's dropping 30, 40 tapes a year? Look, I love Currency, okay? I catch his tapes when I can. I can't keep up with all of that. It's like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. And Currency is too laid back to even take that seriously. The beef is not legit. Benny the Butcher situation. This one is heartbreaking. Because Benny and Freddie made such good music together. Benny would even shout Freddie out on tracks he wasn't even on. Then Freddie started cracking jokes on Benny on Twitter when he got shot. I don't know how he thought that was going to go over. Or how booking a show in Buffalo when you're beefing with them for joking about him getting shot was going to go over. Spoiler alert, it didn't go over well. And he ends up getting stomped out at a restaurant on general principle. I really don't even think they wanted to do that, but he kind of left him with no choice. We all know Freddie would have just talked all kind of shit about how soft Buffalo is, and he went and performed and all of that. They didn't want to deal with that, so they just get out of here. That's kind of what it came across as to me. I'm sure if they were really tight about the whole situation, you wouldn't have just left with a black eye. But that was all self-inflicted. People don't really want to see you playing with your life in real life. The fans don't want to see that. The fans wanted you guys to get along, make up, make great music again. But situation's probably too far gone now and past the point of reconciliation, so it is what it is. We still hold out hope. Maybe one day they can reconcile and get over this. I highly doubt it. Beef isn't legit. You started it and egged it on. Gunna beef. Dead horse. Now, there have been lots of discussions over the definition of snitching with this whole Gunna case. I'm not going to jump in on that one way or the other. What I will talk about is how Freddie got in this beef with Gunna years and years ago for calling Gunna a rat. That led to Gunna's diss on Drip Season 4.
I can't fuck with Freddie Gibbs. Niggas eating ribs.
He gets points for being Fred Stradamus on the whole snitch thing, but calling Gunna a rat in 2025 is a dead horse. It's not really controversial at this point. I guess we can call it legit beef. He's grandfathered in. Academics beef. Legit. I get it. There's a lot more beef and threats made on this album to more individuals of varying fame and importance. And some of the content on the album feels a little older, like dated. Like it might have been recorded last year. Like there's Trump-Kamala references. Not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of makes me wonder when a lot of this was recorded. Because content-wise, it kind of seems like a step back from the spiritual growth we got on Soul Sold Separately and You Only Die Once.
Like me now getting older, the process is even longer. But you know why? Because I'm thinking about it more. I'm thinking about, damn, should I say this? Should I say that? I got my studio in my house and my kids running around that motherfucker now. So I'm like, damn, my son gonna hear this. You know? So I gotta think about things like that.
Whereas that Freddie was looking at more of his mistakes and how hiding behind misogyny, all of the bravado was detrimental to his well-being.
Sometimes I listen to like some of my old shit and I get embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, I turn it off. Because I'm like, fuck, I don't wanna talk about that shit. I don't wanna talk about selling no drugs, man. You know? three children later, I'm a family man now.
He kind of jumps right back into his bullshit on this album. Let's get into some of the highlights on the album, the personal highlights for me. The album is great. The album plays through. I'll hit some of my personal favorites. Mar-a-Lago. I really enjoyed this song. The ambiance of this song is very luxurious. And this is a perfect example of the type of production that you get on the album. Feeling with Larry June. This one is another one with just luxurious pianos on it. This is one for a cigar and a glass of something brown that's at least 90 proof with no chaser, next to the fireplace with a copy of the Wall Street Journal. Larry June is on this, and yes, he is an acquired taste, but he works perfectly with the vibe of this song. If you like this song, you like the vibe of this song, you'll like Larry June's material. Go check him out. And just bathe in the sonic ambiance. Gold Feet, beautiful runs on the keys. Freddie keeps it kind of low-key on this one, which was surprising for me. Jid comes in and puts on a technical exhibition. Jid gets a lot of flack for being one of Kendrick's sons, and yes, he kind of is, but he's managed to carve out his own lane in that. And there are worse rappers to be compared to. That's not a diss. Jid is very talented. But after what Kendrick did on that Clips album, Jid had to take his lyrical honey packs for this one. It's definitely a standout verse of 2025. And this one was chock full of alliteration and technical wizardry. The album closing was also very strong too. Both of the songs had very consistent vibes, and the closeout was very smooth. The album was a very smooth ride sonically. The only thing that kept taking me out of the album was the beef and aggression.
I love rapping, I love making music, you know what I mean? But like, a part of me every day, man, I wish it's just a different subject matter. You know, this shit has brought me a lot of good things for my family, you know, money, all of that shit. We can do whatever the fuck we want for the rest of our life. But it's also brought me a lot of pain.
This isn't music to be angry and aggressive to everybody on. This is music to count money to. The vibe just kind of threw me off on it. You know, this is Freddie's journey after all, and I do respect the artistic journey. He is where he is at, and we accept the work of art as it is. And with that being said, I give this album an 8 out of 10. The vibes on Alfredo were a lot more mellow, lyrically and sonically. You know, this album, while an amazing album sonically, I don't know, man. I just can't vibe with all of the unlegit beef. I can't in good conscience cape for self-destructive activities like that.
I don't want to talk about this shit in my music.
People who love your music want to see you do well, Freddie Gibbs. So, you know, I hope whatever you're going through, whatever you might be going through, hope you're able to see your way through it and, you know, get to a happier place where you're making less provocative music. It just seems kind of intentionally provocative.
I thought this was what I had to rap about. I had to do that to make money, you know? Like, who want to hear about Freddie Gibbs rapping about going to college and getting a degree?
Could have just had something to vibe out to. We want to have more music from you and a bunch of other collaborating with a bunch of other talented artists. But we're not going to get that if you keep dissing everybody, pissing people off. But it's your journey. Can't say, you know, it's your world. We're just squirrels. Otherwise, a very enjoyable album. And we are knee deep in Unk season. The Unk era. Freddie Gibbs continues carrying the torch for the Unk era, dropping another solid album. This album is going to get a lot of play from me. I just don't think it surpasses the original Alfredo. It's not a terrible album by any means. Alfredo was a 10/10. This one is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Still a great album. And still a very worthy addition to the catalog. It's not a miss by any means. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe. We'll comment your favorite track from Alfredo too. Comment what you thought about it. Comment if you want to see him do another collab with Benny. Not like it's going to actually happen, but hey. Comment any of your hopes and dreams. Till next time, thanks for watching.